What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Panfro Games, and today's the day my Lucario guide is out. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. As you may have found out, that Lucario is one of the best, if not the best, Pokemon in Pokemon Unite. So in short, definitely buy this Pokemon. Use your 10,000 coins for this Pokemon. He's absolutely worth it. Simple reasoning: Lucario is the best laning Pokemon in the entire game. He can actually 1v2 a lane in top or bottom, but preferably top in that situation. But yeah, he can run top, he can run bottom. He's actually a really great jungler as well, with great gank support. His ability and his kit is so good. He's a Pokemon that can backdoor really easily as well. This essentially, Lucario can do everything in the game really well. So we're going to be going over Lucario's moves, item build, and just general gameplay discussion in this guide. Starting off with Lucario's boosted basic attack. It becomes a boosted attack with every third attack, striking twice. The first attack is a normal basic attack, and the second is an additional attack that can critically hit. Has increased attack range and throws enemies in the air. And the basic attack damage is plus 100% attack, and then the second hit is a boosted 30% to your attack. The knockup is incredible on this move because not only are you doing crazy damage, but also the knockup applies to multiple Pokemon and it can interrupt certain moves. Lucario's ability is Steadfast. When at low HP, you gain a shield and increase movement speed. Once activated, it goes on a 30-second cooldown. The shield is based on a combination of how high your attack is and your level. So the higher your attack, the more shield you'll be receiving. And this passive is one of the reasons why Lucario is so good, because it makes him extra durable in lane and essentially just giving him a way to escape much easier because of the shield. And it allows him to score much easier because when he has Score Shield will stack on top of the shield that he already has and allow him to score points much easier and freely without really considering the enemy. One of Lucario's starting moves is Quick Attack, which is a 6-second dash. Has the user lunge forward at a speed that makes it almost invisible, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon it comes in contact with. So this is essentially, Lucario has an eject button that does damage that has a 6-second cooldown. It's an incredible move. The damage is pretty nice. You can hit multiple enemies with this. And it honestly, the best part of this move is you can use it to escape, you can use this move to engage, or you can use this move, hey, I want to dive into the goal and escape really quickly, use Quick Attack. It's honestly a phenomenal move. Lucario's other starting move is Meteor Mash, which is a 7-second melee attack. Blast forward with a punch like a comet, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon and shoving them. This move's crazy because the AoE is huge, it does tons of damage, and it pushes the opponent away. In combination with Quick Attack, you can use Quick Attack to get through the opponent, or Extreme Speed to get through the opponent, and then when you're behind them, use Meteor Mash to push them back into lane so they can't escape from you. And honestly, it's so good for last hitting minions as well. At level 5, Lucario learns Extreme Speed, which is a 9-second dash. Lucario dashes forward, damaging all enemies hit and healing Lucario for each enemy hit. The first enemy hit will reset the cooldown of Extreme Speed. This effect cannot occur on the same target more than once every 10 seconds. Attacking immediately after the dash will perform a unique attack in the area, and when this move is upgraded at level 11, Lucario's attack will be increased after using Extreme Speed. So this move is insane because this move lets you essentially use it 6 times if you use it at the maximum potential, because you're going to be hitting each enemy at least once in the middle of a team fight. You're going to be doing tons of damage with this move, and this move is great for you to pick off opponents with, as people will be trying to run away from you, and you can just snipe them with an Extreme Speed, hit them twice with it, and take them out. You're also going to be getting some extra healing with this move as well, so it's pretty great overall. Lucario's other level 5 move is Power Up Punch. Lucario begins charging power, slowing himself, increasing power by up to 200%, and reducing damage taken while preparing to unleash a devastating punch. Upon release, Lucario lunges, damaging the first enemy hit. Power Up Punch does bonus damage based on the enemy's missing health and will cause Lucario's next attack to be boosted. The cooldown for Power Up Punch is reduced whenever Lucario lands a move. And when this move is leveled up at level 11, Lucario becomes unstoppable when charging the punch. Power Up Punch is a pretty good move and is great for last hitting objectives like Dreadnought, Zapdos, and Rotom. However, it did receive a nerf, and it is hard to recommend over Extreme Speed now, as the damage nerf is pretty big and is not executing targets as it used to. And Extreme Speed's damage was not touched, and it still is incredible, so I do recommend picking Extreme Speed over Power Up Punch currently in this meta. At level 7, Lucario can learn Bone Rush with a 10-second dash. Lucario rapidly strikes with a bone, damaging enemies hit. Lucario then throws the bone after the final strike, shoving enemies and causing the bone to land a short distance away. Lucario can activate the bone again to teleport to the bone, damaging enemies in a small area around it. Landing one of the Bone Rush's initial strikes will reset the cooldown timer for extreme speed on that target. And at level 13, teleporting to the bone will reset the cooldown of extreme speed or power up punch. So this move is crazy as it gives Lucario another dash, another way to do a good amount of damage, and most importantly, it resets extreme speed or power up punch. Pretty incredible. Honestly, this move is essentially a must-have on Lucario, as it just gives him another dash, extra movement, and allows him to get off more attacks in general, as it's going to be resetting. Lucario's other level 7 move is Close Combat, which is a 9-second melee move. Lucario rapidly punches, damaging an enemy in the area in front of them 11 times over the duration. And at level 13, the damage is increased. So this move is very basic. However, it does so much damage. In the recent patch, they literally doubled the damage on this. So now it is pretty viable. And especially doing damage to like something like a Dreadnought or a Zapdos or a Rotom, just to get them done quickly, I think is actually a pretty solid move overall. The unfortunate part of Close Combat is it does not provide the cooldown reduction or reset that Bone Rush does, which is very unfortunate, as Bone Rush really outclasses it in this position. But I think the build is pretty solid though if you did a Close Combat extreme speed build just for the raw damage output. Unfortunately, this move can be pretty easily interrupted by status effects like Sleep or Knock Up, and it does require you to hit all 11 hits to get the max output, so that is something to keep in mind if you decide to run a Close Combat build. Lucario's Unite move is learned at level 9 called Aura Cannon, which is a ranged attack. Deals damage to opposing Pokemon in the area effect, increasing damage dealt by the user's next power up punch after using this Unite move. It actually also resets the internal cooldown on opponents when using extreme speed, which is pretty cool. This attack does go across the map and can be used to snipe targets like Zapdos, and this move is actually pretty solid in the sense of damage. The issue is actually hitting the move, as you are stationary when charging the move up, and Pokemon can easily get behind you or around you to dodge it. Overall, I think this Unite move is pretty weak, but Lucario needed something weak on his kit because I think everything else is pretty much S tier. And now it is time for our item build for Lucario, and I think this is the best build for him, whether he goes top, bottom, or jungle. And Lucario will be running Score Shield, Attack Weight, and Razor Claw. And at the very least, you want to get these items to level 20 because their passives will hit their maximum rate at level 20. Anything above that will just increase the stats, but not their passive ability. So the reason why we're running Score Shield is because, one, Score Shield gives us some extra bulk with 300 HP, but it also grants us a shield equal to 10% of Lucario's max HP, and he can't be interrupted when he has a shield up. Score Shield also stacks on top of any other shields that Lucario may receive. So because Lucario has the passive ability of giving himself a shield when he's about at like 35 or 40% health, Score Shield will add on top of that, and then he can pretty much guarantee himself scoring goals. Even if some enemies hit him a couple times, as long as they don't do more than 10% damage, he's going to be okay. So this allows Lucario to be hyper aggressive in the early game and score as many goals as possible, and slowly but surely dwindling down the opponent's goal while you're gaining EXP for scoring those goals. And the really big benefactor of this is because we're running attack weight. And attack weight gives us plus 12 attack whenever you score a goal. And this stacks 6 times, and these are permanent stacks. So if you score 1 point, whether 1 point or 50 points, you're going to get plus 12. So what you want to do in early game lane is, take out a creep and then score. Take out a creep and then score. And just keep on scoring and scoring and scoring. Because the enemy really can't do anything against that. And while you're scoring, you're also healing, because goals heal you when you score, and you're getting more EXP, and you can start seeing how this is going to start snowballing into Lucario becoming an ultimate beast, and which is why he can honestly 1v2 in lane really well. And last but certainly not least is the brand new item Razor Claw, and Razor Claw was definitely made for Lucario in a lot of ways. So one, increases his attack and his critical hit rate, which is always great, outputting more damage on Lucario. But after the Pokemon uses a move, its next basic attack deals a minimum of 20 more damage. The higher the Pokemon's attack, the more this damage increases. When this item is held by a melee Pokemon, this basic attack also decreases the movement speed of opposing Pokemon for a short time. So now you can see the full synergy picture here. So because we are scoring tons of goals because of score shield, our attack's going up, and now that our attack's going up, Razor Claw damage is actually going up as well because our attack is even higher and higher and higher and higher until we hit all 6 stacks, and then Lucario is completely destroying the entire field, especially using like Extreme Speed and Bone Rush is absolutely destroying the field. And then we're getting crits as well. And the slow is great because it allows you to catch up to enemies and then make it so they can't really escape from you. They're slowed, and then you have so many catch-up abilities where they're never really gonna get away from you. And honestly, if you want to change up this build, the one item I would change up would be replace Razor Claw if you want to go a little bit defensive, and go for Focus Band. You can also have Focus Band at level 20. It doesn't need to be level 30, but I got it to level 30 myself. So it gives you raw defensive stats for defense and special defense at plus 30. The important thing is the passive. When the Pokemon drops to low HP, then each second for 3 seconds recovers 14% of the HP it had lost, which is really good, adds more sustain to lane for Lucario. But I feel like if you're running Score Shield and Attack Weight, you really want to take advantage of that attack boost and use something like Razor Claw to make it so you're going to start taking out enemies a lot easier. And the best item for Lucario, in my opinion, is Eject Button. I still think this is the best item in the game, as it allows you to escape from combat pretty easily overall. I mean, you could try to do something with Fluffy Tail if you want to take down objectives more easier, but I would pretty much say just stick to Eject Button exclusively. Using that item build, I highly recommend going with Extreme Speed or Bone Rush. You can replace Extreme Speed with Power Up Punch, however, your best results currently in the meta will be with Extreme Speed. So in the early game, you want to be offensive. Our item build is very offensive. Lucario's moveset is very offensive. So if you're going to go bot, you want to get that middle Aldino and take it from the opponent. And the moment you get some points, you need to start scoring goals. And it's very easy to score goals with Lucario because you have Quick Attack, you have Eject Button, and the moment you had a goal, go and score it. And that's going to be some easy EXP, some healing, and you're going to get an attack weight stack. So while you're playing Lucario, you want to make sure in your head, okay, I've scored 1 time. Okay, I got 1 stack. You want to keep the stacks in your head. And by the time you get to 6 stacks, then that goal should be really dwindled down, and you should have 1 lane at that moment. So whenever you kill a creep, just want to score. I wouldn't recommend killing a bunch of creeps and then scoring, because it's going to take a lot longer for the score to actually go off. Your goal is to try to score with as many few points as possible. So 5 or less is going to be your best bet. And the best part about Lucario is you can even do that in a 1v2 situation in lane, because you have a lot of natural bulk. You also have a lot of evasion with Quick Attack. Meteor Mash is really good at controlling the lane, taking creeps, and pushing away enemies. So your early game with Lucario is pretty phenomenal. And I really recommend bot lane. Yes, he can do all the lanes, but bot lane is the most important lane, as you will be there preparing for Dreadnought, and you can make sure that the enemy will not have their bot lane goal, so they can retreat and heal when you're trying to do Dreadnought. So if you take away that goal, you're going to most likely get Dreadnought, and the other team will not be able to. Especially if your goal is up, then 9 out of 10 times you're going to get that Dreadnought. So Lucario is excellent in that early game, and then the moment that first Dreadnought occurs and you get it, you should be smooth sailings for the most part. A great tip to be successful with Lucario, especially with Extreme Speed, is you want to aim your Extreme Speed. Sometimes it is helpful that the game will just aim at the right target for you, but it isn't always necessarily a target you want to go to, or isn't necessarily a target that you haven't hit yet. So make sure to spread the love when you're using Extreme Speed and trying to hit as many different targets as possible, so you can get more Extreme Speed hits off, and you're healing on every hit too. So this is going to give you more survivability. You also can't forget that your main goal in the team fight is to try to assassinate as many of the squishy characters on the other team as possible. Someone like a Greninja or a Cinderace or even another Lucario are probably going to be your main priorities to try to remove, as they do massive amounts of damage, but they don't necessarily have the highest HP pool. Once you remove their damage dealers, then you want to proceed and take out their tanks. Defenders will be the hardest enemies for you to take out. Someone like a Snorlax or a Blastoise can be rather difficult for Lucario, but the moment Lucario catches up to someone who does not have a massive health pool, then Lucario can absolutely assassinate them and then continue on and focus down the other enemies along with your teammates. In closing, guys, if you follow the item build, the move build, you'll have a very successful Lucario game. This is one of the best Pokemon to climb up the solo queue Masters ladder as well. So as someone who uses the Masters a lot, Lucario is a pretty fantastic Pokemon, and I don't think even with some nerfs to him, he will still always be at the very least a top 10 Pokemon. But currently he is the #1 Pokemon in the meta, so definitely try to learn him, take advantage of the ladder, and climb as high as possible before the end of the season. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time with more Pokemon Unite action. Peace out, and have a great one.